What is the best pizza in the world? Obviously the one you make on a grill. I'm starting a new cycle of videos in which I will show you how to make a perfect pizza. From the very beginning, from the dough, all the sides, and how to grill it on every grill you can possibly imagine. Charcoal grill, gas grill or Kamado grill. But let's start with the dough. I am putting 14 grams of yeast into the bowl. You can find many recipes. Some of them tell you to put 2 grams of yeast. Some of them will tell you to put 20. It actually depends on how much time do you have. If you have 24 hours or 48 hours, go with 2 grams. My method is quite fast. I don't have time to leave this dough for 24 hours. And now I'm adding water. At the beginning, just a little bit to melt the yeast, and after a minute, the rest of it. The water content is another story, because some people put 600 milliliters of water per 1 kilo of flour, and some put 700, 750. My perfect amount of water is 650 milliliters of water per kilo. This water content makes the dough, which is not very hard and also easy to handle. It doesn't stick to your gloves or to your hands. And now I'm adding flour and a little bit of salt. Salt can affect the yeast, so don't put it too early to the dough. And now we have to mix everything and start kneading. And now we have to knead this dough really well. Why we have to do it? Because inside the wheat flour we have gluten. Gluten is a protein which becomes flexible when kneaded like this. And this is responsible for this beautiful structure inside the dough. That's why we have to do it really, really well. If the dough is too wet, you can put a little bit of flour inside. Mine is perfect. There are many different techniques of kneading the dough. Mine looks like this. You catch a piece of your dough, you put it to a center and push it back with your fist, rotating the ball constantly. At the same time, I'm putting more air inside the dough. Obviously, you can use the machine, but I'm pretty used to working on a grill like this. Okay, now we can say this is ready. You can fold the sides to the center to make it more stretched. Put a little bit of flour inside your bowl and leave the dough for first rest, at least 1 hour. Don't forget to stretch the bowl or cover it with something, because the dough cannot get dry. And now we have time to prepare the best pizza sauce you can possibly imagine. Sauce made of grilled tomatoes. I'm putting a little bit of oil on the tomatoes, and the grill is set up to maximum. The tomatoes have to cook in a quite high temperature. I'm putting them on a shelf and leaving this for 10 minutes. When we see the skin a little bit burnt and it's coming off easily, that's the moment we can take off the tomatoes. And now we can prepare the best sauce in the world. First, you cut off the hard parts of the tomato and we peel the tomato. The skin is coming off really easily. And now we can add a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, obviously. And always make sure to adjust a little bit sourness and sweetness. Balsamic vinegar and a little bit of sugar. If it was cold, I could do it with my bare hands, but it's still very hot, so I'm using a fork to create a paste out of this stuff. And now we can use this as a sauce already if we use our fork to collect the pieces of tomato, but we can also reduce it for 10 to 20 minutes and then it will be really perfect. So I'm pouring everything to the pot and setting it to the side burner for a while. After 1 hour, now is the time to cut the dough into a few pizzas. From 1 kilogram you can make 8 to 10 pizzas, depending on how big you want them to be. I'm making 10. And now make sure to put flour on everything, on your cutting board, on your hands, and the dough at this moment is really, really sensitive. So we cannot push it too hard, and now we have to do it really gently. We don't want to spoil this dough, and we put everything on a cutting board. First we cut it in half, and both halves for 4 to 5 pieces. And now we have to form a ball out of this dough. There are plenty of methods to do it. My method looks like this. I put the dough on my hands and fold it to the center, rotating it all the time. And I'm making the dough a bit stretched. The gluten is stretching and looks a bit like a balloon after a while. That's a signal for me this is ready to be put for the second rest. Okay, so all the balls are ready. Now we have to put it for a second rest for 20 to 30 minutes. Make sure it's covered, because now the gluten structure is really tense and stretched. We have to chill it a little bit. Now we can start making a pizza. Make sure this is covered all the time. I'm taking really gently one bowl. Make sure that the top is always the top and the bottom is always the bottom. That's what Italians tell you to do. Put it really gently on a board and with your fingers start forming it. A little bit of flour on top. And first move, you can somehow cut the edges off. Make something like this. When we do it, we can really gently start rotating this dough, making it a bit flatter and flatter. Now we're rotating the dough like this. Make sure you stretch it all the time with every rotation with your fingers. Now my favorite method to form a pizza, you can just use the gravity. You just keep it in the air, make sure it hangs like this, and you can also stretch it all the time and rotating all the time. Do it really slowly until the pizza is really thin. And the last method, I can put it like this on my hands and rotate it in this order. You can see this is already really flat. We can start putting sauce on the pizza. Sauce is ready, it was reduced already. We can start putting it on the pizza. Less is more. You don't have to put too much sauce on the pizza. And now for cheese. Obviously we're using mozzarella cheese. I'm using this New York style of mozzarella, which is a bit aged, but you can obviously use also fresh mozzarella Italian style. Make sure you don't put too much mozzarella on the pizza, and obviously some other sides, whatever you want, put it right now. And sorry guys, if you want to see me cooking this pizza on a grill, you have to click the link above me. See you.